Hello, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you're joining. Thank you very much for your time. We're very excited to have you with us in our sixth episode of our Edu on Air. Today, we have two amazing Google champions and trainers with us, Nagam Abdelbai and Hiba Bouajram. Before I start, you can go back. We have our previous sessions that have already recorded. You can click on the QR code and watch those at your leisure at any point. My name is Tare, and I'm leading AI and education for the Middle East, North Africa, and Turkey. I'm part of the Google for Education organization. And with me today, there's Hiba. Starting off, I want to first introduce Hiba. Hiba is a Google certified innovator and a passionate edtech leader who specializes in seamlessly integrating generative AI tools and Google Workspace for education into school environments. She's dedicated to finding innovative, tech-driven solutions to streamline school workflows and enhance the learning experience. She's a 21st century learning coordinator at the English Modern School in Qatar. And now I want to introduce Nagam. Nagam is an educational technology specialist at Kuwait American School and a Google certified trainer and innovator with a passion for helping teachers integrate technology meaningfully into their classrooms. She designs and delivers sessions focused on Google Workspace for Education, AI tools, and innovative digital resources that enhance teaching and learning. That said, I would like to now hand over to Hiba, who will start with the exciting part.
Thank you, Tarek. Hello from Qatar. It's an absolute privilege to be presenting with you and Nagam today. In today's session, we're going to look at a variety of powerful tools that you can use to increase student engagement in our classrooms. To kick things off, I'll be introducing you to Google Vets and the Storybook Gem. After that, Nagam will take over to show you how to leverage NotebookLM for podcasts and infographics, as well as how to build interactive simulations and games using Gemini Canvas. I'll take the stage once more at the end to walk you through the new AI add-on for Google Forms. We have a packed agenda, so let's dive right in. Okay, first we will start with our first topic, creating engaging lesson hooks with Google Vets and Storybook Gem. Before we dive into that, we need to know, why is a lesson hook important? We all know that as teachers, we often struggle with engaging students in our lessons. The first 5 minutes of a lesson are very crucial. Students come often from previous lessons, carrying with them cognitive load from their previous classes or social interactions or their home life. A hook acts as a pattern interrupt, clearing the transition fog and focusing the entire group on a single shared focal point. So we will see now how we'll be using Google Vets to create our lesson hooks. So to access Google Vets, you can either access it from the Google Waffle, or you just go to vets.google.com. Once you're there, you will have a variety of options to start creating your videos. You can use Veo to create quick 8-second videos. You can use the AI avatars, the storyboard, or record yourself and your screen while creating a video. So all these handy tools allow us to create engaging videos to support engaging our students. Okay, so let's take this as an example. Suppose we are planning a lesson about pollution for primary students. To catch their attention right from the start, we can use Google Vets to create an immersive video hook. So instead of just talking to them about pollution, why not we design an experience that allows them to live that moment? Let's see the example that we have, and then we will talk about it.
Please help me. I am going to die in here. Earth counts on you to stop the pollution.
Don't worry, we will help you.
Okay, so if you look at the screen, how did I create this? So this video was created using Veo. I first clicked on Veo once I'm in Google Vets. I wrote my prompt and I described exactly what I want my video to do. And then I attached a video of a dog that we saw that the video is based on it. In addition to this photo, I can attach an additional of 2 photos to add to my video. So I can attach, for example, a specific background to base my video on it. So students often struggle with engagement simply because they don't see the importance of the content. By grounding our lesson in real-world experiences and letting the students view that problem using a video, the student will finally know the answer of the question, why does this matter to me? So you turn a distant problem into a personal local mission that they can eagerly want to solve. Okay, we will look at another example on how we can use Google Vids. This time, we're creating a hook that sparks a genuine interest for the students. So we will see how we can, for example, structure a math lesson around a misconception and then ask the students to critically think and check if what's being said is right or not. Let's know more by playing the video.
Hello, architects. Here is a secret about shapes. If you want a garden with a larger area, you just need to make the perimeter longer.
So here we saw that there's an AI avatar that said something related to area and perimeter. So kids often look at technology and whatever as online as a trusted source. Now, by intentionally creating an avatar that gets the math wrong, we can provide a platform for students to start critically thinking about what was said. And this is an important way for us to include AI literacy into our lessons, whether it was math, English, science. So using an unreliable narrator as a lesson hook is also one way that we can utilize Google Vids as a lesson hook. Another useful way to use Google Vids is creating your own digital twin. In this example that we're going to play, you will see my own digital twin speaking from a completely different historical period.
Greetings from the 1850s. We worry machines will replace us. Looking from your time, did these engines steal our jobs, or did you build something even better?
So this is such a powerful strategy for our classrooms. By placing a familiar face, such as your own face, into a setting that is normally hard for students to visualize, you instantly bridge this gap between the abstract concepts and the real-life experiences. And this directly captures our students' attentions and let them engage deeper in our lessons. Now, this even gets better because the same video that I've just created in seconds by attaching my photo to it can be changed instantly to multi-languages without any translation needed, just by stating that translate this video into, and I state whatever language. Here we can see the same video but translated into Arabic this time.
تحياتي من عام 1850. نحن قلقون من أن الآلات ستحل محلنا. بالنظر من وقتكم، هل سرقت هذه المحركات وظائف؟
Okay, so these were just few examples of how we can use Google Vids for lesson hooks, but we will not stop here. We can also use Storybook Gems for that. So what is a Storybook Gem? Before, in previous webinars, we have talked about Gemini gems. So the Storybook Gem is already there, created by Google, and can be used by teachers to create stories, to generate stories according to whatever settings and characters they prefer. So let's see some examples. So a story can be customized around a subject and a lesson objective. And in this way, it will act as a powerful visual tool to further engage our students. So let's say my lesson objective is to teach students about the animal adaptation in different habitats. So to bring this to life, I use the storybook to generate a story about Albie, an animal who leaves his comfort zone and has a hard time adjusting when he visits the rainforest. Through Albie's struggles, students aren't just memorizing facts about climate adaptation. They are experiencing those challenges alongside a character they do care about. This turns an abstract science standard into an unforgettable narrative that will definitely capture the students' attentions. But the real beauty in Storybook is that the complexity of the output is dependent on the teacher's prompt. So this doesn't only apply to primary students. We can also generate stories that use complex vocabulary for our secondary students as well. So now capturing student attention with a compelling visual hook is an excellent first step. But once our students are hooked, the next major challenge is helping them manage the information and deeper it. This brings us perfectly to our second topic with Naga.
Thank you so much, Hiba, and thank you, Tariq, for the introduction. As you said, Hiba, hooks are very important, but we need to move also to helping and supporting the students in analyzing data and information, because students are usually required to read and analyze massive amounts of static data. And what's important is not to change what we teach, we should change how students experience the content, and this is possible with NotebookLM. NotebookLM is an AI tool by Google that allows teachers to create various dynamic resources based on trusted, uploaded resources only. So with NotebookLM, teachers can transform flat text files into multimodal responsive experiences. Now, one of Notebook's LM standout features is its audio overviews or like podcasts, which automatically transform dense documents into a conversational podcast style. It's between two AI voices that will automatically review all the content uploaded, and they discuss and highlight the complex connections. But it goes a step further with its interactive mode. So rather than just passively listening, users or students can actively join the conversation using their voice. I will show an example of how I just stopped the host and asked a question in the middle of the podcast.
Absolutely. Grasping force and motion isn't just, for physicists in white coats. It's the bedrock. Explains how everything moves, really. Gears in a
Oh, hey there, what's up?
You just mentioned forces. What is a force?
Oh, welcome to the conversation. That is the perfect question to kick things off.
It really is the foundation of everything we are talking about today.
Simply put, a force is just a push or a pull on an object.
Exactly.
So the student can get immediate feedback or immediate answers on a question about any misconception. But why is this feature so impactful for learning? First, it simplifies complex information and it helps students grasp concepts without reading so much information, and it's a support for auditory students. Also, it replaces passive listening with active engagement because students can, as we said, pause the host and get detailed answers directly from the source material, so they always remain active participants in their learning journey. What is also good is that the teachers have full control over how these podcasts sound. So it's not only one way. Before generating the audio overview, the teacher can click on customize, and they can ask NotebookLM to focus on a specific topic. They can choose either the format to be deep dive or brief. But note that the interactive mode is only available with the deep dive mode in NotebookLM. Beyond audio, NotebookLM allows also teachers to quickly generate infographics that turn text-heavy information into visual summaries. So it gives the students the ability to see the big picture immediately, and it simulates deeper questions. This will leverage first the dual coding, as students can process, understand, and remember information better when it's presented in both visual and verbal formats, as in infographics. Also, infographics act as a powerful tool to manage cognitive load because it prevents the mental exhaustion by chunking this complex information, and it organizes the data for students. Just like audio overviews, infographics can be customized, so the teacher can choose the visual style, the level of detail, if it's brief or leveled, or the teacher can describe also what topics NotebookLM needs to focus on. Here are some examples. You can see all these formats are available in NotebookLM. On the left side, you have an example of a default one, and on the right side, a brick one, like the Lego one, which usually catches students' attention. Now, we've looked how to hook students, how to help them deeply analyze information, but it's time to take and synthesize this knowledge and allow students to actively test it, play with it, and practice it. And this is where Gemini Canvas is an amazing tool to accomplish this. But first, gamification isn't just about making learning fun. We want to make learning fun, but it's also about leveraging the true power of play to drive academic success. And with interactive games, it shifts students from passive consumption mindset into active participants. It also, games provide immediate feedback for the students. It can also increase the retention, and everyone loves games. We know everyone loves playing or learning through games. How is this possible with the Gemini Canvas? Well, with few steps, the teacher needs to prepare the information, add the prompt, while selecting Canvas in the tools in Gemini. The Gemini will give us the outcome, the interactive activity or quiz. But what's nice is they will get it side by side, so they can still chat with Gemini and refine, add something to the game, for example. Once it's ready, they just export the game. Either they add it to a Google site or they can share the link with the students. There are a lot of activities that teachers can create with the Gemini Canvas, like simulations, digital escape rooms, quizzes, and even formative assessments that are helpful to test knowledge before the big summative assessments. This is an example of a prompt that's given. Notice that you have to select Canvas from the tools before asking Gemini to do this. And there's one extra information. If you want to add these interactive activities to your Google site, you just need to ask Gemini to give it to you in a way, the code that works with Google site. This is one example how you have a science simulation for a physics class created with Canvas, and note that the student can change the data and also record data while interacting with this simulation. Another example of a drag and drop activity, which is also so nice across all subjects. And it's also nice because if a student answers something wrong, it gives immediate feedback that it's wrong, or maybe the teacher can ask Canva to give also more feedback about the answer. Now, the last thing is, how can I put all of this together? Let's say I have a lot of activities. Where can I put it together? Well, the answer is Google Site. It works as a home base to host these activities. It's nice because it makes embedding effortless. It organizes the games. It's secure, as teachers can access management only to a specific class so that they can play these games and activities. To do that, it's very easy. The teachers need to copy the code from Canvas, and then they go to Google Site, they add it as an embedded page, they check if everything is working, and then they just publish it out to students. If you want to check some activities of Gemini Canvas, this is a website where I curated like some ideas of using Gemini Canvas. Now, embedding these custom games into a Google Site is a fantastic way to boost the engagement of the students and like to have them all in one place so students can do it. But as educators also, we want to move beyond just offering a fun activity or just a normal interactive game. We want to actively measure the student understanding and see that engagement in action. So I'll go back to Hiba for the next topic.
Thank you, Nagam. So this brings us to our last topic for today, using AI to generate smart assessments using Google Forms. Okay, so Google Forms is a tool we all know and love. We already use that, but now it has a massive upgrade, the AI add-on. So we already know that the traditional way of creating a form is just manually typing every single question and option and answer. But with the AI enhanced forms, that's a thing of the past. We can now directly create a form instantly just using a prompt. What's even better is that we can as well attach a source to that prompt. So I can base an exit ticket, for example, based on a lesson plan, or based on a presentation that I already have, or based on a worksheet. And finally, the most exciting is that those short answers that we have in a Google form can be finally analyzed automatically by AI, because the AI add-on added the thematic responses that is generated automatically just by accessing the response tab. So how can I create this Google form from an AI prompt? Once I go to Google Forms, I click on create a blank form, and I will directly be directed to this window that you can see on the screen, help me create in Google Forms. There, as you see in the example, I can just write a prompt, for example, create a lesson about fractions, and I can attach to it, as we said before, a choice board example, a lesson plan, a slide, a worksheet, and then in seconds, I will generate an exit ticket. Now let's see how will the AI response summary look like in Google Forms. So again, this response summary only is generated automatically for short answers in Google Forms. So if you have short answers, before a teacher used to have to go and check each answer alone in a spreadsheet. But now, if a teacher goes to the response tab in Google Forms, the AI response summary will be directly displayed to her, and this will allow her to check the insights of a class and to tailor the instruction for the next session. And with that, we come to the end of our main session today. I will now hand it back over to Tarek for Q&As.
Thank you, Nagam. One of the best things about my job at Google is that I get to work with passionate and inspiring people like Heba and Nagam. So thank you for this great session. Now we come to Q&As. We're very excited to answer your questions. I'm just looking here at the questions we've received. I'll start with this one. Maybe Nagam, I think this one, you can take this one. Being able to embed a custom game directly into Google Sites is a game changer. Is it possible for teachers to track student performance or collect the scores once they complete these Gemini Canvas games on their Google Sites?
Well, this is an important question. I always get this question also from teachers because sometimes it's difficult for teachers to check students' work while in class, score by score. Yes, this is possible, but we need like several tools together. So I'll just try to give a brief description about it. First, the teacher needs to prepare a Google Sheet, and they're all available with Google tools. This is what's nice, and with the help of Gemini. So the teacher needs to prepare a Google Sheet in order to collect the data or the scores of the students. So for example, I can have a column for the student name and a column for the score. And this is where Google App Script will do the magic. So we want something to connect the Google site game or the game on Google site with the Google Sheet. Within the app script, they can just add a code that Gemini can suggest. We can ask Gemini to give us a code to connect these two tools together. They will deploy it with the Google app script, and then they will have the link. Now, when the teacher goes, as we said, the steps to Gemini Canvas, they select Canvas and they start typing the prompt. They just to add one more thing, they have to tell Gemini that we want to connect this game on a Google site with the Google Sheet that they created, but what they have to do is just simply give the link that they got from the app script. I know this is a lot of steps, but once they do it, it's super easy. So they add this link on Gemini Canvas, and once the game is given by Canvas, it will take into consideration that whenever a student fills out the information, it will go on the spot within seconds automatically to the Google Sheet. So basically, I can say Google App Scripts is the best tool for that in order to connect the game with the Google Sheet with the results. But definitely the teacher needs to ask the student to enter their name at the beginning and display the score. So I can give all of this information to Canvas.
Okay, thank you so much, Nagam. The next question is about Veo. Maybe Hiba, you can take this one. We know that Veo is incredible for generating those sharp 8-second clips like the one we saw today. But what if a teacher needs a longer video for a lesson?
Yeah, so as we have seen in Google Vits, we have a variety of options that a teacher can use. So it's other than the video option, the teacher can record her screen. She can use Lyria to generate music. There's an option as well to generate a storyboard. So if we want the longer videos, longer than 8 seconds, because as we have seen, Veo just creates 8-second videos, we have two options. We can either still use Veo, but generate short 8-second videos and join these frames together using or referring to the same reference image. So in our examples that we have seen, for example, in the first one where we had the dog talking about the pollution, we can use the same dog image to create another scene with the dog saying another thing and continuing the tour, for example, in the city. So that's one option. Another option that they can use is the storyboard option. So in the storyboard, a teacher can write a prompt for for Gemini in Google Vids to create a video, for example, to create a longer video, like a 3-minute video about, for grade 6 students, let's say, about photosynthesis. And this way, Veo or Gemini will be able to use stock images and add these images next to each other to create a video with a voiceover as well. And sometimes it adds background music to it. So yeah, anything is possible when with Google Gemini add-on for Veo.
Thank you, Hiba. It's just amazing how versatile AI is in education, and the plethora of ideas and things that you can do with it to kind of really hook students. I guess now I think we can, and we're, because of the time, we can start. We can close. Now, of course, as I mentioned in the beginning, this is our 6th episode, which means we have another 5 amazing episodes, which you can access at any point in time and at your leisure. So please click on the link or on the QR code. And now, as we, if you are interested if you want to get to know more with regards, if you want to connect with a sales rep from Google, please click on the QR code that's on the left. If you want to connect with our very capable partners, which we vet heavily, you can click on the middle QR code. And finally, please, we would like you to fill this survey so we can continue improving as we go along. And finally, as we wrap up today, remember that AI can give us the spark, but you are the fire. By pairing Google AI with your incredible creativity and your passion for teaching, you aren't just creating hooks for a lesson, you're attracting students into a lifelong love of learning. So use these tools to hook your students' curiosity, ignite their imagination, and transform your teaching. Thank you for joining us on Google for Education on Air today. Go out there, get creative, and keep those magical classroom moments. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.